Hello everyone, welcome back to Run It Up. Run It Up number 22. That's right, number 22. We are here today playing some 5 cent, 10 cent, no limit Texas Hold'em. Yeah, I'm just so excited I can't even get the words out. I'm actually in this table for $19 despite only really having been seated for like 3 hands. It just was like 1, 2, 3. I raised pre-flop. Actually that's not true. I accidentally posted under the gun with ace king, got re-raised by the angry golf ball over here in the one seat, and he re-raised and I re-raised. Yes, that's right. What are you gonna do about it? And he called, and then it came queen 6-8, 2 hearts. I had the ace of hearts. He bet $2. I couldn't let it go. I called, and the turn was a 7, and he just shipped it, and I was like, all right, I guess you weren't kidding after all. So we lost like $5 or so there, and then we bet twice with a good ace high against a bad ace high that also had a flush draw, and we lost that there. So that whole thing combined led us to be down somehow $10 in he rivered a pair. Yeah, right. It was king 6 queen 4, 2 spades on flop. He had ace 4 of spades and rivered the old. He ripped the old spade on us there, so that put us in for $19. Gonna be betting twice here. This guy limped under the gun, even though I think he's a little bit more sticky than most people. I don't think this is a unprofitable bet, but certainly close. If we had no equity whatsoever, if we just had like complete air, maybe I would have given up. But I thought we could bet twice on kind of a scary turn card. But I think actually these sort of like pre-flop re-raises are just going to get you into trouble a lot more often than not. I just feel like at this level people don't really fold too often, so just putting pressure in position doesn't really work too well, and this is a better thing to do when you have it versus when you don't. So didn't work out for us this time with the 5 deuce, but I don't think I hate it by any means. I just think that it's not necessarily the best thing to do. It can't be that bad because we don't know our opponents, but I think generally in our overall strategy, I think we're going to want to avoid things like that. So I'll buy in for $1 more, so we're in for an even 20. That way it's easy for the accounting wizards later to figure it out. So yeah, here we are, August 1st, running it up. Got 3 opponents here. Going to play some 5 cent, 10 cent. See what we can do. Try to get on the board here. We had a losing session and then a break-even session. Hey, maybe we can have a winning session. You know, we'll end the week out strong with a little bit of a win here. That would be lovely. Post here on the cutoff from Drewski 4124. Not my favorite name I've ever seen, but hey, whatever makes me happy. He is going to raise to 50 cents here off of his post. I'm probably going to just call. Yeah, that's what I'll be doing. Let's see a flop, dealer. Pretty good flop for us with Jack 10 offsuit. Can't really ask for much more than a deuce 10-4 flop. 50 cents here from John Doe. He let out before that one time, but I didn't see it at showdown. Last time he didn't lead. He just led river when I think he had it. But I think given all that, I think I'm just going to just call. I don't really know exactly what to make of this, so I think calling is an okay option. King isn't really a scary card for me because it really shouldn't have helped John Doe very much unless we were already behind to King 10. Might have helped Drewski though. our bro Drewski over there. I think I'm going to end up checking and then not folding. I just don't think our hand is... I think our hand is just too good to fold, given how much money is already in the pot. Certainly not folding for $1.10. This is a little bit of a guessing game as to where we're at. Remember, Drewski just posted here pre-flop. There's no real explanation. I mean, he posted and then he raised very large, don't get me wrong. But there's no reason to just assume he necessarily has a king. I think we're ahead of John Doe. I'm not sure where Drewski is in this hand. I think John Doe might have had a flush draw a lot of the times, which is why I'm now probably folding if John Doe just bets. But just because I imagine that one of these 2 players probably has this beat at this point. If I was more confident in my situation on the turn, I might have just folded, or shoved, or raised, I should say. But I really wasn't that confident, so... All right. I'm actually pretty happy with how this all worked out in the end. I think we played our hand fairly well. I mean, obviously we could have got in on the flop, but we would have been flipping pretty much with Drewski. With the Drewski over there. The Drewmeister. We were flipping with the King Jack with his overcard and diamonds. So I think we played the hand reasonably well. I think Dan O'Brien would approve. If you haven't seen that video, by the way, you can go check that out. Dan O'Brien and I did a video yesterday, our first ever guest on Run It Up, you know. Hope you guys enjoyed that. I certainly did. It's always fun. Dan O'Brien. You know, I think it's funny when people are like, "Oh my God, Dan is so mean." He's not mean. That's just how Dan is. You know, he's just negative. He's very, you know, it's a negative exterior. Is like it all just keeps, you know, it's all just the disguise. There's the warm, cuddly interior of Dan O'Brien. You know, that's that's the real thing. When we start doing Jay Carver's Love Connections, like we were talking about, you know, if you saw that episode, you'll see. All right, so it looks like Scorpion 808 over here, which might be my new least favorite name I've ever seen. I think he posted, and then John Doe, the angriest of golf balls, limped. Actually, it doesn't look too angry on the golf ball. It looks more happy on a golf ball, even though it's exactly the same face as the baseball. I don't know what it is about that. Is that just me? That's probably just me. Anyway, so Scorpion 808 with the 8-ball avatar. I can't even not laugh. There's not even a joke. I'm just saying what it is and laughing. All right. Anyway, I'm going to just fold here, I think, with 2 players behind with a nut worst gut shot. I think pre-flop is a little bit on the splashy side, but I think it's fine. It can't be that bad. You know, if we were playing 10 cent, 25 cent, I probably should fold, given that it's a bigger piece of our bankroll to peel. But at this limit, we've got like 13 buy-ins or whatever it is. 13 buy-ins or so. So you know what? Hey, jack down offsuit, raise. We're on the button. How bad? How bad could it be? So we decided to call here, and that didn't work out. Anyway, minus 40 cents later, didn't work out for us, and here we are. Anyway, so this is quite the cast of characters we have here to work with. Weather Guy 94. Weather Guy 94. How crazy is that? I looked at yes, if you saw me lean up right there, I leaned up to look at my clock to see what year it was. Because I was like, 94? How can you play online poker in 94? I would assume he wasn't actually born in 1994. Otherwise, Nevada Gaming Control Board is going to be pissed. That would be so fishy to be actually born in 1994 and play an online poker site with government, the first ever, with government regulation in America, and just be like, yep, I'm born in 1994. That's it. I'm 19 years old. I think that would not be the smartest of things to do, but hey, I'm a big proponent of whatever people want to do. Whatever makes you happy, you know? You want to play underage online poker on a real money site that's regulated by the government? Hey, you might not ever see any of that money. You might as well be playing for play money, but hey, whatever makes you happy. Speaking of whatever makes you happy, this is not really connected, so I don't get points for the segue. But next Monday, August 5th at 5 p.m., I'm going to be doing an Ask Me Anything on Flop Turn River. If you check out the description below, I can't link in YouTube, or I would do that cool, like, I can't do it again, unfortunately. I'm going to put it in the description tonight below. If you're interested in hanging out there, you can write questions in advance that I'll answer. I mean, you know, if you guys watch the show every day, then I pretty much answer any question you have anyway. So, you know, you guys are a little, you know, some of you are a little spoiled, I think. But if you want to ask questions, you know, I'm going to be doing a whole bunch of, like, I think it's like a 2-hour long thing, 5 p.m. Eastern, August 5th, which, I actually think I need to move a flight that I just booked. I think I booked a flight very close to that time frame because I didn't realize Eastern time how that works. So yeah, I'll change my schedule. You guys change your schedule, and I'll see you August 5th, 5 p.m. on Flop Turn River. So yeah, hopefully. Whoops. Probably need to change that. Glad I read that little promotion thing right there. That was great. See, we're all helping each other here. It's a team. Run it up, you know? Anyway, hopefully the team gets on a little bit of a heater here because we're in now for 2350. I did reload a little bit ago because I made a comment about how I liked not reloading in videos, or like not reloading when I was playing cash games. And then when I thought about it more, it makes less sense in these cash games because we're playing such short sessions anyway. We really want to maximize our hourly rate, which means playing deeper stacked poker. So I think in these videos, unless we're doing like a specific type of thing, like if I'm playing a higher stake with like 50 big blinds, unless we're doing things like that, for videos like this, I think I should just be always reloading to near, 80 big blinds or higher, I think. So I will be doing that from now on, if I recall. All right, 3 players, the 2 8 balls and us. Pretty good flop for us over there, the old King 10 deuce of diamonds. I'm going to be betting 60 cents, dealer. How do you like that? That was a little different. That was a little different there. All right, so we bet 60 cents here into I am Mr. X and Scorpion 808, but neither one of them want to continue, which is unfortunate for us, given that we had 5 of the same color. It's always good. Ace 3 of spades in the big blind here. Probably going to be defending against a raise. We could be re-raising here if we're up against Scorpion 808 over there. But looks like we'll just be calling against Mr. X. Well, these guys had auto call, I guess. All right. Let's all just call. See a flop. All right. Not the most exciting of flops here for this hand, but we do have outs to nuts, which is always nice. Probably going to end up just check folding, though, unless this guy bets like 40 cents or one person bets like 40 cents, and then maybe we can call. 55 is not exactly a great price, but they want us in there. They're doing what they can to get us in there. The problem with calling here is that even though our price is good, it's so unlikely that we're gonna just turn a queen and just like, all right, thanks for all the chips, boys, because like these guys are just not like gonna just slam money in the pot with, you know, Jack 10 or Jack 9 or whatever it is if the turn is a queen. So given that we don't make a whole lot of money when we do turn the best hand, or you know, turn our hand, I should say, period. Like, yeah, that was a better hand than us. That was a better hand than us. I think I like our flop fold. Now, you could argue for raising. That's always interesting, because if you think that these players are always going to raise if they have any kind of connection here and that they're all just light, then that's it. Give them the business. I like that. I don't even know what that is. That's like a little like whip gun. That's great. Like a Bayonetta type thing going on here. But, yeah, so we could have definitely raised there and put some pressure on. When it goes bet, call, call like that, it's certainly possible. Look at this game. Everyone's just splashing around. Every pot is huge. This is great. We've got a shot to run it up, although first we have to run it back even, which is always a bit of a challenge. But I'm up for it, you know? It's Thursday night. It's late. Actually, it's technically Friday. It's Friday, you know? Friday videos, Friday night fights. I'd love to name my videos that, but I think people would hate it, you know? Wednesday night Warzone. I think it'll be like, it's not really a Warzone. We're also like, you know, we're way too happy and like cheery for a show to be called Wednesday Night Warzone, unless it's, you know, fighting Dan O'Brien, in which case then it'll be Wednesday Night Warzone. And what a video that would be. What a video. All right. We've got ourselves a button. Deuce 5 offsuit going to be mucking this pretty much no matter what. You know what? Actually, definitely no matter what. Easy fold. Easy fold. It's an easy fold. What am I saying? All right, so John Doe makes 20 cents. Mr. X here in the small blind calls. Drewski, the Drewmeister over there, he's got to call a dime more, and then we can see a flop. All right. Let's do some hand reading this hand. Let's do hand reading. Let's see if we can figure out what John Doe has. All right, so John Doe has auto check on us. That's the fastest check round that I've ever seen in my life. All 3 players like simultaneously just go like check, all at the same time. All right, so my read of John Doe not having very much because he had auto check on was accurate. So it seems like that was a great read. Great read on my part. When they act like they have nothing, sometimes they have nothing. Tips, the more you know, Rainbow, here. When the day comes that I have an editor that I can just be like, play, sound. Do we have that? And then I can go, da. How great will that be? Production quality. All right, so John Doe here made it 40 cents pre-flop, and then we got all these calls here, and then bet 10 cents on this flop. So we could argue a raise for like value, protection, stuff like that. We probably have the best hand here more often than not, so I think I'm actually going to do that. I'm not loving this situation, and if Drewski raises or John Doe raises, I would just fold. But imagine if it was checked to us, we would probably bet more than $1 anyway. And when he bets 10 cents, it's like kind of equivalent to checking, only weaker even, because I think if he had like ace king of diamonds, he wouldn't bet 10 cents. I think he would bet bigger typically. So if he bombs it here, he actually didn't bomb it, he bet 20 cents, which is interesting. Let's think about what he might have in this spot. He could have some jacks. Jacks are not insane to have in this situation. He could have like ace 10 with ace of diamonds. That's reasonable. He could have like 8-9. He could have like 7-8, those types of hands. I think our hand is like very vulnerable, but I don't think he's ever folding, and we might already just be behind. So I'm going to start with calling and seeing what happens. We really don't want to see a diamond, but a 6 is pretty good. So I think if he bets, we're going to just call. If he bets like $7, we'll probably fold. Checking is interesting, though. So in this situation here where we have a hand that's like, we basically have a hand that I don't think we really want to bet, because when when we're evaluating whether to bet or not in this situation, we have to ask ourselves what better hands are going to call or what worse hands are going to fold. And if you look at this in this situation, what better hands fold? Like, does a jack ever fold? Probably not ever. And does a worse hand call? Only very select hands can play the hand. Only very few hands can be played, there we go, the way that John Doe played them and make any sense, and then can call the river. So he'd have to have a hand very similar to that, like 9-8, where he just puts us on like ace-10 with the ace of diamonds, like we were saying he might have. And in that case, then, if he turned up his hand, I would have just bet. But there are very, very few hands that like are slam dunk going to call us that we're beating. So I feel good about that. That's actually probably the first hand that I think John Doe has shown down. So we now know a little bit about him. He had 9-8, right? He had 9-8 suited, I think, right? So he bet out 10 cents on flop, 20 cents on turn. Even though the flush got there, he still bet 20 cents on turn. I'm going to bet kind of big here because both these guys seem kind of like the sticky type. So we're going to charge them some toll money for our troubles here. All right, pretty good turn card. Very comfortable with our hand at this point. I feel very solid that we're ahead. Going to bet $2, which is also much bigger than usual. But I think, once again, we got to charge, we got to get some money here for our time. So $2, $4. Let's think here what this means to us. So I think this very rarely is a flush draw because we have the ace of spades, and I don't think he'd play a flush draw this way too often. I think more often than not that's like king jack, king 10, or a hand that beats us like pocket deuces or pocket threes or king 3 suited, something like that. So I'm going to call, and I'm folding 0 rivers. 0, 0, 0 rivers. He would have to call, and then the river would have to be dealt, and then he'd have to say, "You got anything? I'm all in." Like, he would have to give me a speech to get me to fold. In this case, we just have to call. If he has us beat, it would be some miracle. And yeah, like, we can't do anything about that situation there. Like, there's literally absolutely nothing we can do in that spot. We played our hand, as pretty much well as you can play it. We raised pre-flop, bet flop. We had to call a check min raise on turn, which we did correctly, given his specific hand, never mind all the worse hands that he shows up with in that spot. And then, I think we obviously have to slam call river. So didn't work out for us that time, though. So how nice is this, by the way? There's no account balance. You have no idea how much money I have right now in my account. I could have only $278 in my account right now, and you would never know. How do you like that? Well, I have a little bit more than that, thankfully. So we're going to be in for $30 here in this little cash game of ours. We're down like 20 or so, but it's when you're playing cash games like this, it's not like it's that crazy to lose 200 big blinds in a session. It's actually very, very standard. So I think I feel good about our play, although I think one of those first hands we played today was a little bit sketchy, but I think for the most part I'm happy with how we played so far, despite not winning. I think once I have a couple days free in a row to make videos, I'm going to start doing some longer sessions and then do some longer streams, and I think that'll help with both the challenge purposes, because longer sessions are going to be so much better to like win piles than these like short 20 or 30 minute videos. So I'm going to try, I think we're going to just check here. I don't think our hand is good enough to raise, but I'm certainly good enough to see C3. I'm gonna start kind of developing more of a. I think we just fold here with a player behind left to act with the bottom end of the gut shot. If we had ace jack, I would call, but I think jack 9 we just let that one see the muck. I'm gonna start doing like a couple of different. I'm gonna start developing more of a schedule for like shows and stuff, because I think like I like the idea of doing one guest a week. People seem to like that idea too. I like the idea of doing one guest a week on like Wednesday, something like that, and then mix it in with some other stuff. Once in a while, I'll do a high stakes video. High stakes, like, with a little bit different of a format. We do maybe like a stream twice a week. I like streaming on Sundays. That's a cool thing to do. I might even do that this Sunday, but I can't say for sure because the schedule thing is a little weird. As I said before, the schedule is a little off. So I might be doing it this Sunday, but I'll tweet it when I can for sure do it on some day. But I definitely want to stream like twice a week, and then the other days will probably just be run-it-ups. I think that's probably how we'll do that. So once this craziness of all this week with all the BMW nonsense and everything else still wrapping up, once we get through this week, I'll try to get more of a schedule going. Then I'll kind of know in advance even that I think we can all I think people will like that, right? I think that's kind of cool. we'll make it. I think that given like, I'm gonna just fold this. Obviously, if he had called, we would be so happy to call here. But given the raise, we're just gonna fold. I mean, what else can we do? Shove. I mean, we could, but I don't think it's gonna work too often. Pretty nice pickup there. He risked 250 to win 150 in just flop bets alone, plus pre. Did he call that pre-flop? I'm not really sure, to be honest. We had ace 10. Yeah, no, he raised pre-flop. He made it 30 cents. It was a small raise, but he did raise, I think, after all. So that's interesting to keep note. But I think, now that we've done 22 shows plus the Dan O'Brien shooting episode where I lost $1,100, $1,200, $1,300 or whatever it was. That was a pricey video. I think we're gonna kind of convert the idea of the show, instead of being run it up, we're gonna do a lot of run it up episodes, but I think we're gonna just basically treat this as like the Jay Carver daily. Like, I think that's how I'm gonna look at these videos, and that every day we'll do either something in poker, or so there'll be a video every day, and it'll be primarily poker, obviously. Not like, more than primarily. It'll be dominated by poker content to some degree, whether it's live poker, live something, or every once in a while will be League of Legends or other cool things that I'm just doing, and because I want to kind of keep it tracked with my life, so to speak. So like, this is the first weekend that I've been doing the show and we'll be away. So what I'm planning on doing is I'm going to do some episodes, new videos every day, which I'm promising. Unless it's going to take a catastrophe for not to be a new video. But what I'm planning on doing is doing some videos that are review. I've been playing some sessions on Ultimate Poker that whoops, that's a loud noise. I've been playing some sessions. This is a little bit loose. I could definitely just fold this pre, and a lot of people do fold this, but I think this is all right. Given that it's 5 cent, 10 cent, we're going to have position. Our hand is not great by any means, but I think we show a profit here in position against this player who seems kind of wide and splashy. And, I think we want to kind of see flops anyway with our supposed skill edge. Supposed skill edge. So yeah, now we'll just bet because we've been checked to and we have a purr. That's the short version of that story. But yeah, I'm planning on doing a new show every day, and sometimes it'll be live to camera, sometimes it'll be more of a video blog, I think, because I'm just going to have some days that will just be crazy and they're just going to be video blogs. And I think that's still cool. I think people will still like that. But I guess if it gets like 7 views and like even my mother just tells me she hates it, then I guess I'll stop. But I think I'm going to plan on doing that. You're not that funny! Stop making those weird jokes! My mother sounds a lot like Mickey Mouse in this story, but that is very close to the voice, to be honest. No, it's much more angry Italian than that. It's funny though. That's actually very true. I bet $1 here because we have to bet $1. There's just no other bet size, I think, than $1 here. But it's so funny because I have nothing but good things to say about my parents. They were great. They my dad was always very super hardworking, very outgoing, shockingly. He very much the person who liked to talk a lot. Whereas my mother was very, very tough, very, get things done, push, work, And it was a great combination. The two of them, I think, did a fantastic job raising me, and I'm very appreciative for all that. However, one of the things I will never forget in my entire life, till the day that I die, I'll never forget the story. I remember when I was like 13 and I had just been exposed to like The Daily Show and Conan O'Brien, and it was like I was loving it. I had never really seen like comedy shows like that before, and maybe I was like 11 or something, whatever I was. I can't imagine I was 13, but maybe I was like 11 or whatever. And all my life, Mom had been like, you want to go to school, get a job, work, and eventually get married and all that stuff. Like it was not really like do what makes you happy. That was what you do. It was go to school, get a job, get married, have kids. I've done very well with that, by the way. In case you're tracking that, I'm like 0 for 4 or so. Yeah, I think 0 for 4 is just about right. But I'll never forget. We're gonna have to pause one of these. Either we'll have to pause the hand or not that I can pause the hand because it's live, but we may have to pause the story. But that's a pretty good brick turn card for us here, so I'm pretty comfortable betting here twice, and then we can go on with the story. But once I started watching Conan O'Brien and Daily Show, I was like, oh my god, I love this. This is fantastic. I'm not loving this though. What in the world? a lot of times when you see shoves like this, the person has like a combo draw, like queen jack of clubs, ace nine of clubs, 3-5 of clubs, which wouldn't make any sense. But I find it hard to believe that he has a set that's slow played, or king four, or anything else that's just going to shove now. So I'm probably going to end up calling, but I'm not really loving it. We could be behind, but I think our hand is just too good to fold. 4-9. Oops. But we drilled it. Whoops and drill. Sorry, Drewski. The Drew Meister over there got us. I mean, it definitely makes sense that he happened to have 9-4 suited, but I didn't really think he had 9-4 suited in his range. I thought he would fold that hand pre-flop, and that's the Dan O'Brien avatar. That's it. That's the Dan O'Brien avatar that we've been talking about yesterday, if you saw that. This is the one that I'm convinced is of Dan O'Brien that they put in the software, even though it's not like perfect, but it's pretty close for a random avatar. Anyway, so, I remember being really excited and coming to my mother and being like, oh my God, one day I know what I want to do with my life. I want to be like Conan O'Brien. And I'll never forget, my mother turned to me and goes, Jason, you're just not funny enough. And I was like, what? I swear, I took from that day on, I like dedicated myself to proving my mother wrong, which wouldn't be the first time or the last time that I did that. And I just I tried to read like every sort of like book by a comedian. I watched videos. I made friends with like every person that was even like remotely funny in school. It's so true. It like motivated me so much to get out there and try to like learn about the comedy world. Not that I was over that dream a month later, but it's funny how things work out. Although not so much for my mother, who still would prefer me to go back to school, and while I'm there, of course, to meet a very nice girl. But both of those things are about equally likely, I'm afraid. All right, so we limped here with 6-8 offsuit pre-flop, and we flop an open-ender, which is, again, pretty near the best you can ask for when you have a 6-8 offsuit. We get check raise tiny here, which is pretty sweet. We're going to try to just drill the turn here with a 9 or a 4. 8 also is probably a good card. 6 might even be good sometimes. 8 is interesting. My plan is to call turn, and then we'll have to make some river decisions, I think. I am Mr. X, deep in the tank, $1. Yeah, I think I'm just fine calling, I mean, we're pretty far ahead if he doesn't have us beat right now. If he does have us beat right now, we're dead to a straight or an 8, so I'm happy with calling. Might not be good to have either of those. He might have, or an 8 might be good, but a straight draw might not be good if he happens to have like 7-5 or something. But 7's an interesting river because you wouldn't imagine that he has too many 7s that play this way, right? He check raised tiny on the flop. Why would he check raise tiny with the 7? That doesn't make a ton of sense. It's possible, of course. And now he just checks it down the rest of the way. He might have a hand like 2 6s. I doubt he has a hand like ace high, because how would ace high get here? I'm really not 100% sure what he has. He might have a 5. It wouldn't blow my mind if he had a 5. But I think... okay, that makes sense. That actually does make sense. He was just bluffing and then tried to bluff again and then just gave up when the board paired. I think that's a reasonable way to play. I mean, obviously, you don't have to defend 9-3 offsuit pre-flop or check raise, but I think that's not an unreasonable thing to do after you've seen a flop. I've certainly done more unreasonable things than that in my life. I actually dislike this raise size. I was trying to last second get in there, and then I actually think I should be making it bigger here than 20 cents, just generally speaking. I want to play bigger pots, not smaller pots in position. So, but it's like not an enormous difference. So the real B-Way, the Karthus avatar, Mr. The Real B-Way, has decided to bet 30 cents into us here. My plan is... my plan is to do... Well, not folding. That I promise you. The question is whether it's better to raise here or just to call. I think I'm going to just end up calling. When he raises in this spot, I think he has either like a 10 or better or clubs or a 3. So if he has a 3, he's never folding and we're way behind. If he has clubs, we're way ahead. And if he has a 10, we're like flipping. So I think given all of that, and I know this player is still in the pot as well, and if we raise, there's... it'll probably make him fold more, which I'm not necessarily sure is something we actually want, but maybe we do. Because if he has Jack 10 and he has clubs, we really want Jack 10 out of the pot. In this case, I think I'm fine just calling. Once again, in this case, this guy either has a 10, a 3, or clubs, and at this point, I think we should just call and then just fucking drill it. That's it. We did it. We drilled as appropriate. Now that he's checking, I assume he has a hand like ace 3 or king 3 suited, something like that. He might have a hand like jack 10, but all of those hands pretty much have the same decision. I wouldn't bet like $5 here, but I think 350 is one of those that he has to either decide to call or like I don't think he will be able to fold the 350. But if he's gonna fold, like I don't think, like let's say he has a hand like, that's just, if he has a pure give up, he's not calling no matter what we bet, right? So let's say he has queen 9 offsuit, complete air. We don't have to worry about that because that hand is never doing anything. Like against some people, I guess some people are check raise bluffing or something like that. But once he checks, we're not really worried about the hand. We're trying to just price it out with hands that might call and then figuring out our size. Hey, like that slider. That's it. That's something right there. That's a Run It Up exclusive. How many professional poker players have done a bet slider with their fingers like that? That is a Run It Up. That is a classic Run It Up benefit. It's a visual cue. I'm a visual learner. Am I? I think I am. I feel like I am. I could be wrong about that, though. I said it, and I doubted it immediately after, but... All right, so looks like we've somehow recovered from our being down $20-something to only being down $4, which is a kind of an achievement if you like breaking even, which I'm really not a fan of, but... Hey, check this out. So maybe a week ago, and I meant to tell the story in video, but for some reason it just slipped my mind. There was a video maybe a week ago where I lost like a $17 sit and go. It was one of the sit and go days. It was like one of the teens for sit and goes, like 13 or something like that. So I guess it was actually more than that. I think I'm gonna bomb it here. I was gonna make it like 160, but I really think that we should make it bigger. 201, dealer. That's it. I want to make a final table so badly so I can just I don't care what the blinds are. I don't care anything. Let's say it's 50, 100. I just want to look at the camera the very first hand, just be like 101, dealer, or whatever it is. Oh, it'll be great. I can't wait to do it. Unfortunately, I'm not playing too many live poker tournaments these days because, there's not much running in the middle of August or the beginning of August. But actually, August 2nd today. I thought it was August 1st today. No, August 2nd. We drill the nuts here, which is sweet. Sorry about that, needing the camera. Gonna bet a decent amount here. Probably expect him to continue if he has a heart. If he doesn't have a heart, he's just folding, but that hand's probably not giving us more money no matter what we do. At this point, we have the second nuts, so that's a little bit of a joke because it's pretty close to the nuts, obviously. I think 181 is where we want to be at for this hand. Nice, we got called. Unfortunately, our team Run It Up viewer is not winning this spot if you're flat calling the river, I don't think. And yeah, we've almost recovered. We're $1.25. We're one Big Mac away from being even. How delightful. What a delightful accomplishment we have here. All right, so the real B-Way raises it up and Scorpion 808 decides to call. So we'll call behind on the button here. Don't see why not. Not exactly the dream flop we've got here with the 6-5 of hearts. And with a bet into us, we're just going to be done with the hand here. I'm going to just let this one go. Scorpion decides to call, though. We actually turn equity. Not that makes any difference on our decision, but it's true. Check, check, and here we are. I mean, I assume Mr. X has a weaker hand than Scorpion 808 does, just because the one that calls usually has a better hand than the one that bets. Wow. Bet and snap call. Full house? Full house is good. Full house? Yeah, King Deuce there, not the super best hand. What did we have? We had 6-5 of hearts, and it was raised by the real B-Way, right? And then Scorpion called. given that we saw that he had King Deuce offsuit in that spot, I feel pretty comfortable raising 50 cents here with Ace 7 offsuit. I think we're going to be head often enough. He actually just folds, so we're heads up against the real B-way over there. And I'm going to bet. Hopefully he will continue with a worse hand or fold something that is maybe slightly better. Maybe not. But I think betting is the right decision there. So that worked out well for us. Queen 9 offsuit, probably just folding. 2 people behind us. We could raise again, but I think we're over the raise squeezing thing here. God, I am not running it even. That's not happening. We can't run it even twice. Twice in a row. Not even yet. I guess I shouldn't get too excited, but yeah, I guess that's something. So in case you haven't heard, there was one weird bit of news this week that Masa Kagawa, a high stakes tournament reg, is somehow suspected of being involved with like an Android malware scam. It sucks. I'm not really sure exactly what the deal is, and I kind of find it a little bit hard to believe. I just feel like I don't know him personally, though my only experience I've had with him is actually not even an experience I had with him, but one of my, I'll go so far as to say my actual best friend was at Monte Carlo, EPT Monte Carlo, and he was just hanging out on break. It was a tough level, and he wanted a cigarette, even though he doesn't smoke, and you shouldn't smoke at home, kids, if you're paying attention. So he needed a cigarette, and so Masaka Gab was outside smoking, and my friend went over to him and said, which is already kind of baller, he went over to Masa and was like, "Hey, can I get a cigarette, please?" And Masa just nods and gives him a cigarette. Seems a little surprised, as you know, who wouldn't be a little surprised. And Alex says, "Thank you. Can I have a light?" Obviously, and Masa like laughs again and nods and gives it to him. Oh, pocket aces during the Masa Kagawa story. Look at that. And then my friend goes, "This is pretty cool." My friend goes, "Arigato," and then walks away. And that's the Masa Kagawa story. Any person that can participate in that has to be kind of cool, you know. Like that's my only real experience with him. But you know, how bad of a person could he be when he does that? Anyways. I'm going to raise it up here to about a little, again, just like the same concept from before. I'm going to probably make it a little bit bigger than usual. I think 241 is a good size here. I like this +1 penny thing. It's like the mark of the carver, you know? That's it. It's just like the extra little penny just tips them off. The extra 1 there at the end. So I'm really happy with our raise size because we got a heads up and got a ton of money in the pot. And I'm extra happy about that because this flop is super connected. Against some players, I would be check shoving. Against some players, I'm just going to be bet calling. I think I'm actually going to just check raise all in here. This player seems like he's a little bit more stabby than others, although I'm not necessarily convinced that that's the case. 5 of hearts is a good card, not necessarily the best card, but certainly not like an awful card by any means. I think I'm going to start with a bet here and make a decision. If he shoves, we still have to call because we checked flop. If we hadn't checked flop and we had a ton of money left, then maybe we wouldn't have to. But given that we checked flop, we have to call here. We just don't have a choice because our hand looks so weak, you know. He might have something really good, but nice. Shipped that. We did it. We didn't even need Long Island Larry, the dealer here. That's it. No, he didn't need any help. Look at that. Shipped that pot there. Happy with how we played that hand. I'm really happy with our sizing pre-flop, and our line actually probably made us the most money possible. Nice, and good hand, bro. Just sits down immediately. We've had a very bro-heavy episode here. We had, what was his name before? Drowinski or bro? I don't even remember, to be honest. And yes, I'm stone sober. That was a couple questions in there. No, that's not me. Not for videos, anyway. I can't imagine. You guys already see me so, happy and, bubbly. Could you imagine me if I had, smoked before these videos? It would just be a mess. I would just be uncomprehensibly babbly. I don't think that'll happen anytime soon. Sorry, boys. So, yeah, we're up $10. What a journey it's been. We'll play 3 more hands or 4 more hands here, depending on whether GH Bro takes a hand in the... GH Bro takes a hand in the big blind. You know, I'm going to raise here. 25 cents seems fine. We've been talking about making it bigger, but these 2 guys are a little bit shorter stack, so I think 25 cents gets the job done. And we steal their dime and nickel. Yep, that's what we did. We took down dime and the nickel. Queen 3 offsuit, head to the muck. All right. So we've done pretty well here today at dime quarter land. Sorry, nickel dime land. My apologies. Didn't mean to offend the people that play dime quarter land. But yeah, it looks like we've done pretty well over here all in all. We've ended up winning $10, which is not what I thought we'd be winning, given that we were down over 2 buy-ins in a single episode. This has got to be the swingiest episode we've ever played, but the table was great. It was an awesome 5-cent, 10-cent game, which is really sad to be like, of course it was. It was 5, 10, 10 cent, 10 cent, you know? I was like, dude, check out this awesome 5 cent, 10 cent game I was playing earlier. It was so soft. Dude, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. You know, it wasn't even that it was soft necessarily. It was just like an action game, obviously. I think it was probably the most action game I think we've played in Run It Up, which is great as an action player. I like when everyone's a little bit more splashy. Pocket threes shouldn't be the best hand. Looks like Queen 7 is going to win that there. Not entirely sure how we saw a flop with Queen 7 offsuit, but we really can't judge too harshly given the way we've played some of these hands. All right. Let's put a dime in the pot, dealer. You know, I think we haven't really seen, we haven't really got too many chances to like play. I mean, yeah, we've got 2 hands left. I think we could just splash it in there. We might be losing like a penny on this call, but you know, what's a penny? What's a penny to team Run It Up anyway? You know, a little bit of fun, enjoyment. We get to see a flop here. You know, that was worth a penny of my money, right? Of team money, I guess. You know, technically it's team money. It's not really my money yet until we run it up, and then who knows what? Who knows what we'll do? We'll throw the hottest $10,000 party that Las Vegas has ever seen. I don't think $10,000 in Las Vegas even gets you very far. It gets you in the door in some places, that's for sure, but not too much else. Not that I would know. If you know me at all, my idea of a fun night is like a bowl of spaghetti and some League of Legends, I guess. I was trying to think of like the most fun game that I'm playing recently, and I kind of bricked a little bit, but I've been playing BioShock. That's been fun. Been doing that too. 5, 6 diamonds. That's certainly worth a raise for our very last hand. 30 cents dealer. I should have made it 31. That was a horrible mistake. I apologize to all the true fans that have stayed with us until the end here. All right, that's it. They yield. They've surrendered. We have remained victorious today. That was it. We did it. All in all, it was a pretty good session. We ran it up. $10 more added to the pile. Scrooge McDuck pile is increased. Slightly bigger. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you enjoyed, like, comment, subscribe, Facebook, all that fun stuff. I really appreciate that. I'll be back with more tomorrow. I'm not really sure what tomorrow's episode will look like yet, but it probably will be a Run It Up. But hey, maybe not. If you have anything special you want to see, let me know. I read all the comments and all that stuff, and I really appreciate you guys taking the time to hang out with me. That is it for me. I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.